Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order of Germany. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So it's August of 63. We are very close to the end of our focus tree, and usually in a New Order, when you get to the end of your focus tree, that's when next big event is supposed to happen. In our case, it's going to be the German Civil War, and I'm hoping we're going to be okay. How many divisions do we have right now? We have 10 more power than Göring. We're going to have 12 extra units, 15,000 extra rifles, and we're not going to have any extra factories, which might be a problem, but I think we'll be fine, right? I'm sure everything is going to be great for us. Nothing bad could possibly happen. So apparently this Dominican Civil War is still kind of ongoing. Also, I do want to turn off Fog of War, please. But because there was a coup in the Dominican Republic, I don't think we really care about who wins anymore. I don't think it really matters so much. Because right now, you're in the sphere of the Iberian Union. Is there a map mode that actually just shows economic spheres? There are, okay. They got Brazil, Argentina, the United States, Germany, Turkey. I'm surprised that Iberia even is allowed to have an economic sphere. Mostly because it's Iberia. They don't have much money to begin with. At least I'm just trying to remember back to our playthrough, which if you haven't seen, I do recommend you actually go back and watch. I think the Iberian Uni campaign was probably one of the most fun campaigns we've had. I mean, all of the New Order campaigns have been good. Iberia, when we played this Iberian Black Army, we played the United States for the first time. Every campaign in the New Order I've had fun with. And I'm excited to play more the New Order as we kind of go through. I'm not too sure who we're going to play next or when we're going to play it. I think the New Order is definitely one of those mods you can't play over and over again. It's not a Kaiserreich. It's not like the base game. I don't think you can play it all of the time. But, you know, like I think like once every few months, we should be doing more the New Order stuff. And I hope people are liking it. Okay, so September 20th, we've now completed the mercenaries. We no longer have any focuses to do. So the Civil War should be starting... And I know it happens in October. Now, if it's early October or late October, that I couldn't actually tell you. Opportunities. The SS acting up. The SS are once again stirring up trouble within the Reich. While this isn't exactly uncommon or new, the SS couldn't have chosen a worse time to recommence their usual antics. All across Germany, the SS has been putting their noses in where it doesn't belong, causing a great deal of disruption throughout the Reich. Stormtroopers have bullied troops from the regular army out of several armories across Germany, mostly concentrated in the Rhine. Several problems between them and here have also been reported, and the SS are also disrupting flight schedules in order to screen police and screen pilots and passengers, even from the Luftwaffe. This is a thin veil to harass them, nothing more, and shouldn't be mistaken as anything else. They have felt the need to make their presence known in the civilized population as well, carrying out their own investigations of the citizen population. Anything ranging from foreign spy to tax evasion has been used as an excuse to detain and harass people. They even have the backbone to set up checkpoints with no approval from anyone but themselves, and have been able to freely arrest suspected Jews and other undesirables, who are more often than not critics of the SS. With some fanatics causing so much chaos, some kind of action must be decided soon to limit their activities and restore some sanity. So we can resist the SS with the help of some party loyalists, which gets us Bormann, root out into civilians. Fact, I mean, of course we're going to be going with Bormann. We also get 25 political power. So we have large influence right now, and I'm hoping that maybe will give us some benefit when the war actually begins. I think 70 is considered large, so... You know, give me 1 point here. 30 days for our extra production bonus. We get 1 extra point. Now, I don't know how much we're actually going to get, if 1 is really going to make a huge difference one way or the other. A game of chess. The board was set. His pieces were in place, towering and dominant, ready to swoop forward without mercy or restraint. The majority of the party saw Bormann as a symbol of stability. German people viewed him as new, albeit less charismatic Adolf Hitler. Attempts to shore up loyalty throughout the Weimar have proven most rewarding, and his latest scheme to buy up loyalty of corrupt Waffen-SS officers have succeeded. Yet his foes across the board are not weak. There was Heinrich, the Black Knight, surrounded by fanatics, Speer, the pawn, bowing to the whims of the so-called Gang of Four, and then there was his strongest rival, Hermann Göring, the King. Bormann chuckled to himself. Considering the man's taste in clothing and jewelry, perhaps Queen would have been more apt. Bormann's private secretary, Gerald Kohlefler, barged into the room with urgency. They betrayed us. Party Kaiser Bormann, the Waffen-SS troops we bribed, Göring doubled what we paid them, and they pledged loyalty to him. All in secrecy, of course, but our spies haven't uncovered the truth. Bormann ground his teeth in silence. Another day, another move. So it looks like the government of the Dominican Republic did succeed. They're still kind of influenced by the Iberians, but I guess that's better than them being influenced by the United States. The Divine Mandate of Siberia. That is fine. I'm not going to worry. You know, who cares what happens to Siberia? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the slightest. Okay. We can replace some outdated equipment. Which you're outdated. Okay, basic jet. Improve you with the improved jet. And can I actually create, because you're jet type A. But you know you're different. Okay, well, planes and reserves. Improved jet fighter, improved jet fighter. Oh, we want, I think, no. What do we want? Basic jet. I'll be honest, I don't really know what I replaced. I know I replaced something, but I couldn't actually tell you what it is. Okay, so we've lost production units. That's fine. Our economy is shrinking a little bit, but... Also, we're now moderate. 70 is considered... I thought moderate was large. Or 70 was large. Now 70 is moderate. Doring is making moves. Maybe it's about our relationship in comparison to everybody else. I'm not really too sure. But he has 70 influence. That seems pretty good. Autumn. He lies catatonic on his deathbed, alone except for a physician seated aside. Outside the room lie 100 million souls in terrible waiting. Yet his cautiousness is of an empty bliss beyond this world. His light flashed before him in reverse. He recalls her funeral, how his heart broke, and only the reverence of his motherland remained. The cathedral light during the victory parade after the war, the long conquest against Judo-Bolshevism, he mercilessly fought. World powers in awe at Germany at the Olympic Games, his struggle to break the old order with blood and steel, the house where his parents, where he first dreamed to end all dreams. The stream ends with one final shot of morphine. His eyes open from the injection. He looks around as if searching for something. Behind a sliver of luminance left in between the curtains, he sees the Volksschule bathed in sunlight. He stares at the dome for some time, trying to remember Deutschland. Before he hears a whisper, the only voice he ever truly loved. He shifts his gaze to the fleeting moment. She is there. Her apparition fading, he whispers his last word, a single tear welling his eyes. Ava. There were no sounds for a while, except for a faint stirring of oak leaves and the chirping of bird swallows. The news of Adolf Hitler's passing came after 1 hour apiece. There was never again be silence for the children of Germania. More news from the informant in the Berghof, came Gerald Kolfer's ready voice. Sensing his reverence, Bormann glared up from his notes and raised an eyebrow. Kolfer cleared his throat. The Führer is dead. Bormann's heart stopped dead. He straightened up and ran a hand over his bald scalp, swallowing deeply. The Führer was dead. His immortal Führer. The world was ripped a great man from Germany. For decades, Bormann had worked tirelessly in the Führer's shadow, learning from the genius with the shameful mixture of adoration and jealousy. Now the dreaded moment had stepped into light had come. You must not tell anyone, Bormann suddenly snapped, slapping his palm against the table. The Berghof staff must be silenced. The information cannot be allowed to spread under any circumstances. The Reichstag must pronounce me as Führer before Göring or any others have a chance to intervene. The minutes turned into hours. The hours drew into days. Soon, despite his great efforts, rumors had spread throughout the Reich. The Führer was dead. The Reich was officially leaderless. What? Bormann roared from his phone, shooting to his feet. They fucking did what? He slammed the phone down with a curse and paced the room, rubbing his temples. The Reichstag had just met without informing Bormann. How this evaded him? Those vermin on the emergency council had refused to legally name Bormann as the new Führer, claiming that now was a time for mourning and not ceremony. Germany was lost. According to the spies, Göring, Speer, and Heinrich had already fled the city. There was no time to lose. War was coming. Extensive preparations had already been made. It was time to fly south. Well, I'm sure everything is going to be going fine. Adolf Hitler is dead. Anything, I mean, we probably can't really get any of this stuff done, huh? I mean, maybe this will finish in 5 days. A funeral for a Führer. The funeral of Adolf Hitler was possibly the largest and most extravagant in history. Thousands of Germans stood in attendance, and nearly every division of soldiers just for the funeral march. Not to mention endless flyovers by the Luftwaffe, and a constant jockeying for the best spots to show over by a dozen military units. Even Santa figures such as John F. Kennedy and Representative Hamburg Hirohito were in attendance. Heinrich, Speer, Göring, and Bormann were all in attendance, and all gave their words for the leader's passing. Today is the day of mourning. Crisis has struck Germany. We must be strong in the coming days together. For the entire Reich, now is the time of healing. And then they were gone. Not even half an hour after the body was lowered. Horse staff cars and their convoys were speeding off to parts unknown. Preparing for plans, no doubt, only just beginning. Hey, we have a research slot, though. Look at us go. Let us go for... You're a little ahead of time. So you're all ahead of time. Is there anything that's not ahead of time? 305 days. 305 days. You know what? I'll take it. 305 days is not too bad. The flock takes flight. Since the death of Adolf Hitler, the Luftwaffe have begun to act awry. The great jet birds begin to fly without command. Across many areas of the Reich, airfields vacated. Seemingly every air wing of the Luftwaffe undertakes a great migration. Their destination yet unknown. The strange flocking habits of the Luftwaffe birds is not restricted to just the aircraft. Fallschirmjäger divisions, too, load up their equipment and personnel into aircraft with unwanted haste, and soared off into destinations unknown. The Luftwaffe personnel seem to be in the midst of an utter abandonment of their post country-wide, with only a scarce few commanders planting their contingents firm upon their assigned airfields. As Field Marshal Speidel frantically attempts to officially ascertain the status of the Luftwaffe, motorcades in Germania are seemingly filled with top-tier brass, leaving their offices for personal reasons, pre-land leave, or simply departing Germania with so much as a word to their superiors. Speidel may not have official status of them at hand, yet there's no doubt in the mind that many that this is the work of the old Reichsmarschall Göring. His pieces will soon be in place. I mean, that seems bad. Like, if you live in Germany right now, probably not looking great. And also, Serbia just exploded in the war. The Reich sits in a state of confusion now. For the past week, the Reichstag has been in one another's throats over the simple matter of who the citizens of the Reich should hail now that the Führer is dead. While it's always assumed the next Führer would be saluted, the current chaos and lack of any real planning for the crisis mean that the German people have been left in a state of utter confusion, and the Reichstag has bickered and more ideological-minded hailed their chosen candidate for the office. Soldiers hailed their generals in their homes, out of their home cities. Citizens hailed workers in the economy. Some still hailed Hitler. It seemed that every German had decided on their own special little salute, and nobody liked one another's. By the end of the week, Heil the Reich had become the most agreed upon salute by the people of Germany, but nobody seems particularly enthused about it anymore. Can we agree on nothing? Okay, the Serbian Civil War has begun. The Heer acting strange. Across the country, men in the Heer abandoned their post. Some divisions, roll call, have reported half and sometimes more of their men going AWOL. In a couple incidents, entire infantry and panzer divisions were simply disappeared off the map, only to reappear across the country in southern Germany. No explanation can be shaken from their officers and generals of these divisions, since they are either nowhere to be found or hidden away in a black spot of South Germany. To make matters worse, late last night, with general staff in Berlin vanished. A convoy of personal cars and military trucks filled with high-ranking officials and their attachments were last seen heading south after picking up the troops at their checkpoints. There's little doubt that they are that they're also heading south. Here messengers run amok in Germania, and formations all across Germany have suddenly leaderless and further disintegrating. From one partially burnt letter, an aide managed to dig alongside a couple of trapped phone call recordings, reveal a common similar phrase from Martin Bormann himself. It is time. So it looks like everybody is making moves. Okay, the army is literally just gone. Heydrich rises up. As the wave of violence continues throughout Germany, Heydrich has declared himself the rightful Führer of all of Germany. This is not new news from him, but what is news is the fact that he has called upon his SS to restore order within the country. Forces of the SS based in Aschenlaufen, conveniently close to the border with Burgundy, and Ostpreußen. His strongest areas of support and have stormed local police stations and administration buildings with full intent of taking over all of Germany. Thanks to the absolute state of the Reich, however, we can do nothing. So, okay, Speiderians rise up. After the recent chaos in the Reich, Albert Speidel and divisions loyal to him have begun rebelling in the northwest of Germany. Armed students have taken over government buildings in the area, and student uprisings have been reported throughout the country. A country now continues to crumble as the first sparks of civil war have been lit. Is there anything we can do in here, or is this... I think this is basically over. So I don't think we have to worry about you anymore. Göring has risen up. As the streets begin to fill with the sounds of war and forces loyal to each contender begin arming insurgents, Hermann Göring has called upon loyal legions to stamp out rebellion within the nation by starting his own. About half the country's total landmass to declare themselves loyal to him, and his forces now begin open battles against disloyal militiamen and the rest of the contenders. Bormann breaks away. The German Reich, once a triumphant victor, has collapsed into an outright civil war. This fact is confirmed earlier today as Martin Bormann, rather reluctantly, ordered the remaining German forces loyal to him to break away from the Reich and begin warfare against the rest of the contenders for the next Führer. And we did spend our political power in order to get Bohemia to side with us, and I believe Germania just stays completely neutral when the war actually breaks out. With tensions have been rising between various factions in the Reich for years, nobody quite expected the explosion of violence that came shortly after the death of the Führer. Everyone had seen, of course, the political scattering of their homes, the military arming themselves and locking down roads, and police taking their heaviest weapons and barricades to their station. But for an outright civil war, expect it or not, whoever the war is here. Military units have focused their attention on Germania, ensuring the capital remains under military control. But elsewhere, the pretenders to the throne of the Reich have armed themselves, and fighting has broken out across Germany. Speer, Heydrich, Bormann, Göring, nobody knows which will win, but all the people of the nation know that dark days are ahead of them. With Germany in collapse and anarchy in the streets, foreign powers have already begun debating on what to do. The United States and Japan have both already begun looking to host how best to exploit the chaos, and Iberia and Italy have quickly begun militarizing in order to carve out further influence in the chaos. The Reich's commissars, ostensibly loyal vassals of the Reich, still sit in chaos as well. Leaders debating on who to support, or whether or not it is time to begin distancing their realms from the homeland. There will be blood. So this should break us out into several smaller countries. We will save, because sometimes it might cause the game to break. Like whenever you tag switch, it never works 100% as you would expect. So we're just gonna do a quick save here. But I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we've got a lot of 12 extra divisions. We've got 15,000 extra rifles. We got one extra point here, which probably was not worth the 5 influence, if I got to be honest. But I would say that at least right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you've enjoyed, remember the thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, click thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.